The season is nearly upon us, and it seems like Arsenal fans are caught up in this transfer frenzy, and believe me, I'm exactly the same. But I think a lot of people are missing this. And you might be looking at that and thinking, what on earth is this guy talking about? But believe me, relax, in a couple of minutes, everything will make sense to you. And this is honestly so important that it could make or break Arsenal's season, and I want to get people's thoughts and opinions on it. Before we get into it though, you know the drill. My name is Jed, and if you could, all I ask if you're watching this video is hit like and subscribe, please. So I want to start this with a quick question. It is, can Arsenal realistically still win the league if we don't make any more signings? We spoke about Eze yesterday, and there's actually been another twist and turn in this Eze story that I will touch on after. It's very, very interesting. But if Arsenal don't sign any more players, can Arsenal still win the league? And if we do need to sign a player, would you prefer a left winger or like a central player, a centre attacking midfielder? Let me know. So let me bring this map up onto the screen. So as you can see here, what we're hearing is Arsenal's start of the season is so difficult. And I kind of heard that, and I looked at the fixtures and I was thinking, wow, yeah, this is difficult. But when I started to compare it to Liverpool's, Man City's and Chelsea, I realised just how difficult it is. And this will be pivotal in Arsenal's season. A lot of people will look at it and say, mate, this is the start of the season. What are you talking about? But this is 6 games. Look at the Premier League champions from the past, I don't know, however many seasons. You can't lose many games. If you start to lose 3-4 games, you're starting to max out on the amount of games you can lose. So some people might say, oh my God, it's the start of the season. Why are you panicking? But I'm telling you, like I said, go look at the champions over the past few years. 5 losses, 4 losses, 3 losses, 7 losses. So you need to be careful how you start a season. And that's why I want to compare these. So let's take another look. Look at Arsenal's. We have got such a difficult start. The first 6 games. I've categorized these teams as easy, medium or hard. And if you look at Arsenal's game, you've got United, Leeds, Liverpool, Forest, Man City, Newcastle. I think you could comfortably say there's 5 hard games there and 1 easy game. The easy one being Leeds. Again, this could all change. Arsenal could lose against the easy teams and beat the hard teams. This is football, but I'm just trying to give you a rough idea on what you can expect, because I think this Premier League season will start in a way that will shock so many people because of these early fixtures. Like I said, Arsenal have got 5 hard, 1 easy. You look at Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal, Burnley, Everton, Palace, Chelsea. You could say there, what have Liverpool got? They got 3 hard games, 2 medium and 1 easy. So Liverpool's start is, again, it's fairly difficult. You look at Newcastle, Arsenal and Chelsea, they're going to be the difficult ones. You've got the medium ones with Palace and Everton. Everton is a derby for Liverpool, so I guess that could work in our favour. And then you've got Burnley, which you would imagine will be an easy game if you're just looking at these games on paper. And I know it's hard to do that, and that's what we're doing in this video. So you've got Man City next. They have got Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton, United, Arsenal, Burnley. If you look at Man City, they got 3 hard, 1 medium, 2 easy. So they probably got it slightly easier than Liverpool. I think Arsenal have got it hardest, then Liverpool, then Man City, then Chelsea. And Chelsea, I think this is the team that's going to shock a lot of people. Look at Chelsea's, okay? They've got Palace, West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, United, and Brighton. You look at that. They got 1 hard game, 4 medium, and 1 easy. A lot of people are expecting Chelsea to be in the title race this season. Let me know if you agree. And I look at that, and I think Chelsea could be top of the league after the first 6 games. Look, now I'm hoping it's Arsenal. If we can get good results in these first 6 games and we find ourselves in and around the top, then the rest of the season should be slightly smoother sailing. There will always be patches where you've got difficult games, but there will become a run of games where you're playing 3 or 4 games in a row that are slightly easier than the ones we're starting with. So if we can come out of these first 6 games unscathed, Arsenal will be in an unbelievable position. And if you're getting the difficult teams out of the way early, you would imagine at some point, like I said, maybe in the run-in, you would get a slightly easier run-in. So if you're in and around it towards the end of the Premier League season, Arsenal would be looking very, very good this season. But it is that Chelsea one that I'm looking at. I'm thinking, they have got a good squad this season. They are improved. They're looking like they're starting to come together. We saw at the end of last season, you know, they go and beat PSG, and a lot of people are saying Chelsea are definitely in the title race. These are the 4 clubs I'm looking at and saying these are in the title race. Like I said, I've got a video coming out tomorrow with my Premier League predictions, so I don't want to give too much away. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea are the 4 teams I can realistically see him win. After 6 games, I would not be surprised at all if Chelsea's top of the table and then, I don't know, Man City, Arsenal. I'm just looking at them first 6 and saying, please. Like, this United one is so interesting to me. Because, look, United historically has been a difficult game for Arsenal. And again, I've got a breakdown video coming up about that Man United game. But it's just important that we start off with a win. If we can start by beating United and then beating Leeds, come up against Liverpool, we've just seen them struggle against Crystal Palace, so there's no reason why people should be scared and saying, oh my God, right, that's definitely a loss. There's not definitely a loss. If we go to Liverpool, I think we can get a result there. Even if we draw that one at Liverpool, that's not the end of the world. People will say you always need to go there and try and win. Of course, Arsenal will try and do that. But if you get a draw at Anfield and you win the first 2 games, I think Arsenal are in a perfect position to play Forest, Man City, and then Newcastle, again, a team we always struggle against. So we'll see how we get on. I wanted to speak about Eze next. And again, let me know your thoughts on this. Are you expecting, after these 6 games, for Arsenal to be in a difficult position? Because all I would say is, after these 6 games, if it is maybe Arsenal in 4th position by 1 point or 2 points in it, I'd say don't panic too much. Again, you always want to be first, but we do have to take into account early in the season that Arsenal could be a bit wobbly. We could pick up a couple of draws. We might not get 6 out of 6 wins. It's going to be difficult. So I just thought it's interesting to look at these teams and who everyone's playing early on in the season. So you can try and understand some teams at the start of the Premier League season definitely have an easier start. So I want to speak about Eze, because we made the video yesterday at Eze and it looked like Spurs were going to come in for him, but now we're hearing that Eze would favour a move to Arsenal. Does that surprise me? No, because if Arsenal and Tottenham are in a straight shootout for any player, then of course they're going to want to choose Arsenal. Who's going to realistically pick Tottenham over Arsenal? The only possible way I can see someone picking Tottenham is if it's a young player and they're thinking, look, Arsenal's obviously the better team. They're obviously the bigger team. But I think for my development, I think I can get more minutes over in Tottenham. Eze isn't a young player who's looking to develop his career and play maximum game time. Eze is a guy who's getting towards that 30-year-old mark who wants to win trophies. He's not going to go to Tottenham and expect to win trophies over Arsenal because they're about as half as good. So of course he's going to pick Arsenal. I am hoping, look, Arsenal need to sell players before we can buy. That is what's becoming more and more apparent to me. Arsenal are in a position where we just can't go out and buy any more players. We've spent, I don't know, what is it, 200 million. We've already got 2 left wingers on the books. People are saying, look, we have to go out and sign a left winger. I think we've done that with Madueke. Whether you like the signing, I like the signing. I think Madueke is that left wing signing that Arteta wants to use. Now, again, it might not be perfect. I like the player, but it might not be the player that most people would choose. Most people, from the reaction I'm seeing, is frustrated and saying that money for Madueke could have been used to go towards Rodrigo or could have been used to go to Rafael Leao. Again, these players are costing a lot more, I would imagine, than Madueke. But Arteta has seen something in Madueke that he likes, so he's gone for that option. So people saying we haven't signed a left winger, I'm not sure that's true. I think we have. It's Madueke. It's just not the one that most of us wanted, right? Is there going to be any more signings? Again, we have to have outgoings. Someone in yesterday's video made a comment, and it was a fair comment, I think. They wrote, it's very easy. All we have to do is sell Jesus, sell Zinchenko, sell Vieira, sell Nelson. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, and in theory, that makes sense. You sell these players and buy players. But where are the offers for these players? You can't just say, I'm selling these lot, and then I'll bring him in. We know we're selling these guys, so let's just spend the money on Eze. You need to have concrete offers. Now, it looks like Zinchenko might be going to Turkey. Arsenal are still trying to drain as much money out of that deal as they can, and I think they're in the right position to do that. Zinchenko is still a decent player. He still gets into a lot of teams. He might not be perfect for where Arsenal are in terms of wanting to win titles and Champions Leagues, but still a very good player. He's done loads with Man City. He's had a good career at Arsenal. Again, at times he's frustrated, but he's still a very good player, so you should try and get as much money for him as you can. Jesus, we can't exactly sell him right now because he's injured until the back end of the season. There was some rumours floating about that he might go to Brazil even with this injury, but that's going to be a difficult one to do. You've got Vieira and Nelson. Again, these are deals I'm looking at and saying hopefully we get these done. And if we do, maybe that's what we're waiting for. We have to sell those players before we can make a move for Eze. There's, like I said, this Eze deal is taking twists and turns all the time. We thought the release clause had expired, but now it's coming out. People are reporting, no, it expires Friday. You can still, if you want this player, agree terms with him, but then pay the release clause and you can have him. It's very interesting to see how Arsenal are going to attack this. Are they going to be the team that says, we want Eze, this is the guy we're going to get, so we will guess that we're going to sell these players and just hit that release clause by Friday? Or they could let him go to Tottenham because they are not in a position to pull the trigger yet. They have to sell these players before they can do that. And if they do, it might allow Tottenham to pay that release clause and then get the player. And if we're being honest, Arsenal might have their eye on a totally different player anyway. All I would say is don't panic. There still might be signings. I would like one more. I do still think this Arsenal team is good enough to win the league. I'm still not totally convinced by Liverpool. Now, I've said before the pressure is all on Liverpool, and it is, because they won the league last season and they've spent the most money. So on paper, they should be the best team. They should be looking to win the league still. So we will have to see how it goes. I would like to know everyone's thoughts and opinions on it though. So if you could let me know in the comments section, do you think we're going to get Eze? Do you think Arsenal are going to be in and around it after those first 6 games? And if we're not, would you start to panic? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before we go, if you could do me a quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.